Good evening and welcome down to WDiMT Muletown. As always, this is your captain speaking. Got a little bit, not a whole lot, to get to some recent changes and updates, though definitely to pass along to you. Some of the snow totals are trying to trend down a bit, as predictably, explicably explained by the snow dome, the mythical thing that we refer to here, us Murray County natives, that sometimes seems to dash your every hope of ever seeing a snow day. Luckily that we already have that snow day in the bag, though Murray County schools are closed tomorrow, so at least there is that. Certain state office buildings are closed as well, luckily mine. So there is that as well, so you're stuck with me. Let's get into it. So currently 33 degrees live from Sunnyside at the moment. We've got the winter weather products in effect at the moment, so just depending on where you're listening to us from this fine evening, either a winter storm warning or a winter weather advisory. So I've got a handy dandy graphic here in a moment to explain what the difference between those mean, but the same general things apply. So warnings are a little bit more urgent of any kind, so tornado, severe thunderstorm, hurricane, winter storm, whatever. That's always the most urgent one. Then any kind of watches, which means literally that you're just watching out for that warned type of weather, whether it's, again, a severe thunderstorm, hurricanes, winter storm, whatever. And then the lowest rank there, not to diminish, but I mean in all actuality it's diminished, the advisory level. So when you hear us talk about like WWA or see that abbreviation, that's what we're talking about there: watches, warnings, advisories. So in warnings, watches, advisories in that order, but you know what I mean. So, and again, that is a pretty widespread thing. So again, you see the same color scheme there, pink with the winter storm going on there, and then pretty much everywhere else surrounding that area has that winter weather advisory in effect. So tonight, low 21. Most everywhere in the mid-state area going to see those snow showers at some point or the other. Again, just depending on where you live. Saw an NWS graphic from a minute ago that I was going to go ahead and throw in here, but looked at the timing and yeah, I think it's all kind of boogered up, as well as the other stuff coming down the pipe until the models have been recently reacting to some things here. So we'll get into that here in just a minute. Tomorrow, 31, again, going to be right at freezing for the next couple days. So back roads and things may be an issue off the snow that we do get. Don't think it's going to be as much as originally anticipated, even as just as little as a little bit ago. So looking at some of the more recent model runs and looking at some of the back at the previous runs that was thinking it was going to be snowing possibly here by now, and it's just now kind of approaching there around Dixon County or so, Hickman County in the north side. So this again is what the thinking was, inch around here to like the dusting. I think that light blue is probably moving up a little higher into Murray County, so maybe Williamson County, Spring Hill side of things still sees that decent side. Columbia may not. I'm gonna say probably. I'd say the 2 is, unless some things change majorly, the 2 is probably not going to happen, but maybe closer to the 1 and change, but possibly also less than 1. So we're going to be real close to the line. This mesoscale discussion just came out a moment ago, and I've got it on the page for my visual folks, but it was talking about some potentially more heavy rates and bands coming through with this, which is one of the theories that we had seen the models possibly playing around with. But all of those models are also saying it should be snowing here almost by now, and it's kind of almost, but really bleh. So we'll see. Don't necessarily think it's going to pan out, but we will see. Keeping an eye on it closely. So this is the latest 48-hour HRRR model. There is another 48-hour running right now that kind of throws out all of this that I was waiting on to get done, and I'll have it for us here in just a second, but it's not a lot vastly different, but the totals are fairly different. So there's that. Again, this is what it was throwing kind of our way. Snow depth, again, this is the one I try to tend to use because it takes into account the ground temps melting, yada yada yada. But with this one being overnight, obviously there's no melting, but it usually tries. It seems like all of the models try to give you more of a middle of the road, like actuality depth of what the snow may end up being, middle of the road conservatively. Because this is what it's coming up with here at like the very end of things. This is right before that 48-hour loop that I was just talking about, and it's got us at just over 1. So pretty wah wah there, if you ask me. So again, throw this in motion for you just a second, then I'll hop in the comment section. But you can see some light snow out there, but again, not like really as expected as far as the rates go, as far as how heavy it is. It's fairly widespread up north, which we expected, but not so much down here yet, which to an extent was expected, but I don't think we're going to get near that too. I think we may end up being closer to the 1 and change, and again, we may not hit the 1. So again, don't do the unalivey thing to the messenger. So let's see what's going on here in the comments. Mortarman, what's up, bro? Won't see you tomorrow. Yeah, appreciate that. Joyce's daughter-in-law said it started in Memphis about 7. Yeah, I can believe that. This is just the national radar, so you can't see what's going on in Memphis, but it is indeed kind of like doing things over here. You just don't see it at the moment. So we'll look at radar scope here in a second. It's got a little bit better long-range view to it. Betsy wants to know if roads be safe on Thursday. That's always the trick question. So I know about Murray County Highway, Columbia Public Works are all good folks about getting the main roadways cleared as much as they can. Secondary streets are always, they get to them as they do. But interstates are pretty good, as well as TDOT, state roads, yada yada, so forth, etc. Thursday, I would hope, that the roads would be okay. There may be some backroads issues in the morning commute, possibly like the evening commute as well too, just depending on where they're at as far as getting those, secondaries cleared and the back roads started to be cleared. But Thursday, I would imagine, unless it's some like remote stuff like back roads in the country, it should be a little bit better, but they may not be much melting. It's going to depend on how much sun we get, because it's going to be pretty much below freezing, I think, until the weekend, last I looked. Jesse says, wouldn't it be funny if we get the most possible snow and the least chance when we have the most chance to get? Yeah, that's happened a couple of times. It's happened a couple of times. So I don't think this is one. As soon as we get done with this, we're going to look at the recent models and stuff, and I'll explain why. But I don't think this one is going to. I don't know, Mark. We'll have to see. I don't think this one's going to do it. Mark's thinking it's going to overperform, but we shall have to see. I'll swap it to the Memphis view too while I'm sitting here doing this. That way, y'all aren't just kind of like listening to me breathe heavily or anything. So, trying to get through the comments. How is B Smyrna? Smyrna, Rutherford County. It looks like they may get about the same, like marginally more, maybe marginally less, just depending on where this line falls. But I don't think it should be too much more rough. No. Kristen said, think there will be lots of ice on the roads. No, I don't think so. TDOT's looking like they've got a lot of salt and brine down and stuff already on the main roads that I saw coming home, 31, 64, most all the way through Lewisburg. It was already brine this morning. Bedford County had already started, and it looked like from all the comments and stuff that Columbia, Murray County, and the state trucks have already been well in action this way as well too. So, don't expect any ice to be falling. No, there for a while we were worried if there may be a changeover and there may be some snow rain kind of showers more along the Tennessee Alabama border or wherever this line ends up drooping, but I don't think it's going to catch us with like any ice accumulations or anything like that. No. All right. So yeah, don't think we're going to get any ice on that. So that will definitely be a plus. So let's hop into the models and discuss a couple differences real quick. Natasha, be safe for your son to drive home from Lawrenceburg. Oh, hold on. Stop moving the chat. Lawrenceburg from spring up to third shift. That's just all going to just depends on those main roads. If he's doing pretty much 31:43, I imagine he'll probably be all right if he takes it slow. But it's just gonna depend on the headlights. It may be some heavier rates at times. It's still saying that in kind of the official forecast, so we're gonna roll with it. But best advice I can give in the snow is never out drive your headlights, because if you can, like, basically what you can see is your stopping distance, and it may not even be that. So that's my best advice there, just having driven in all imaginable and unimaginable weather conditions, for what all that's worth. All right, so let's hop on over to the models real quick. We'll be back in the comment section in just a bit, so if you got any questions, go ahead and throw those in there. We'll get back to them. So this is the aforementioned HRRR. This is the new updated 48-hour loop from 000. So yeah, again, it's snowing about between 8 and 9. It's saying again here on just this model run, it's kind of pushing that back a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more as it goes. The few previous runs before this were all had it snowing here earlier, so that's kind of why I'm thinking it may not pan out the way it's saying it will either. So maybe some heavier rates. You see the darker blues there showing up around southern Middle Tennessee, Murray County. And then a couple of just different bands in general through there that are a little bit heavier than others, but don't really see anything as compelling as it was. We'll say we'll go back to the original one I showed you from 18Z. So 6 hours ago, got it snowing here almost by 7, which didn't pan out. Again, we're almost an hour past that. See heavier rates right there, a lot darker blues, and then same thing, more sustained heavier rates there, and stay snowing a little bit longer as well too. Snow tapering off about 0600 tomorrow morning on that, and about the same there. So 0700, 0800, so a little bit longer. So it's maybe just trying to make up for it on the back end. I don't know. We'll have to see. So all of that, what we just saw, this hypothetical model produces 0.6 of an inch on that snow depth that we talked about. So what it measures is his total snowfall. What you see the disingenuous folks posting is this. So this assumes everything that falls is snow, and it's going to fall exactly as heavy as the rate as it says, and it's still only maxing out about 3/4 of an inch of snow there, sports fans. Maybe again about an inch. That's gonna be about it according to the latest and the greatest. The NAM is still running, but we can go back in and look. NAM sucks for snow. We'll throw that out there to begin with. But NAM's saying about the same thing, about maxing out at about an inch tomorrow at 9 a.m. and then going down from there, hopefully with some melting. High end on the NAM, 1.5 inches, but yeah, just not seeing it. 1.5 inches I thought would have been an underperformance a minute ago, but I think that's going to be a lot over from what this is saying, from if this pans out with the latest conditions. So what else is new? Don't see. Do the Euro real quick and look at it. Yep, 18Z. Most everything else hasn't run yet, so it's saying about 1.5 inches on the high side. More realistically, yep, about 0.6 of an inch. So interesting there for sure, because it all started trying to trend back down, but it seems like on this last couple of runs, it's really hit like a wall. So NAM 3 kilometer, it's a higher definition NAM model, maybe an inch high side, but yeah, more probably like 0.6, 3/4, something along that. Good news is, like I said, as it's leaving all the ice well to our south as far as all of that goes. So all right, 1 second folks, I will be right back. Sorry about that unscheduled break there, folks. Anyway, so as we were saying, luckily all the ice looks to be sticking mostly to the south, so that's definitely a good thing there. But if you're just joining us, big moral of the story is there, it looks like the models are probably trending down somewhat as far as the expected totals go. And at this point, it's just going to be a watch and see kind of thing. But as you do see, we have some snow starting to make its way into the Middle Tennessee area, but not as much as originally thought by the models. So again, just have to be a wait and see thing as far as that goes. But other than that, I'm thinking probably an underachiever. So we'll be keeping an eye on it. We'll keep you updated with the latest and the greatest. So stick to the page. Other local media outlets, NOAA, National Weather Service, all of those fun folks. And we'll catch you later.